Good afternoon from Softball HQ in beautiful South Australia. The sun's shining, the finals race is heating up, but it could pretty much be in picture by the end of the day. We have for the first place West Torrens Eagles in game one of this doubleheader versus Sturt, who's in third place. A win guarantees their spot in the finals, so I'm sure they're keen to get across the line. A couple key outs for both the teams, but it should be an interesting game.
Key outs for both teams, as you said, Eric. Bell White's still out with the arm injury, but as well, Ada Caruana, the Stars outfielder, is missing today. So a couple of younger players coming into the team, including state under-17 player Jesse Keach. And for the West Torrens Eagles, no Carly Allen, no Alicia Marching. So that'll put a little dent in their hitting lineup. But in comes Faith Picard to catch. She caught on Wednesday night as well. She looked pretty good there, and she's hitting up a storm as well.
And West Torrens using this opportunity, I mean, they're well in clinch. They're 5 points clear at the top. They're on the verge of clinching a minor premiership, but really using this opportunity to sort of feel out that depth, make sure their roster's good to go in case anything happens in the finals.
Yeah, and they've also got a couple of finals contenders as well to go in the rest of the year. So a good test for their players going into finals. They could send a message to the rest of the competition, undefeated so far in 2018 as well.
Sturt were struggling in 2018, but they went flying out of the gates in a big 14-3 win just a couple weeks ago versus Hills. It put them back in position and just on the verge of the finals and really sent a message that maybe Sturt isn't a write-off with a couple of their injuries and they can really play.
Still got talent all throughout their lineup, plenty of depth through their club as well, very strong junior players, a number of Stars players in their lineup as well. So look for Maddie Cameron. She's going to be their ace today. She can hit. She's brought into the infield as well. She could be the X factor.
And a big question mark today is, of course, Tash Strapp. She's back pitching today. She was away from injury, just trying to get herself back into the lineup and back on form. She'll be looking to bounce back today as well, too.
Sturt need her to stand up and be one of the best players in the final series if they want a chance.
So it's a finals primer here today in game one of the softball here on Spacequake Sports. So sit back, relax, and we'll be with you in a second. We've got Bell, who just went and took second. She can't even go back, and she's still going. Now she's going to try to slide into third. And she's safe! She did it. She's done a good job in back-to-back innings. A little bit of trouble on it. She's got out of it, and this is hit up the middle. It's a nice play for one. Throw over to first, and she got her for two! And this is hit hard, deep to left field. This is back, and this one is gone!
But she's, I'm telling you, Jenny is not going to let the ball go past.
And she's to do, and here it is, and she's done it. The perfect inning. And this is hit hard. It's towards center. Will this drop? Diving catch!
Tell me you're serious.
That's a great play.
There she goes, that's a long shot to left field, Sophie Hoyle! It's a home run! It's an automatic run for the Glenelg Rebels. We were just talking about her power, we were just talking about her wheelhouse, and into the breeze, thank you very much, Lee, a home run to Sophie Hoyle. We are ready to go for the big clash today, the Sturt Falcons and the West Torrens Eagles. James Harris here, joined by Eric Bullner today. Eric, it's a big round for the Adelaide Club competition. It's breast cancer awareness round, so you'll see a hint of pink amongst the teams today, the pink socks, the pink visors, and then the 4 o'clock game today, it's a Spacequake Sports doubleheader. You will see the breast cancer awareness games, Glenelg Rebels versus Walkerville Cats. Both teams will be wearing pink, and it is a big round for the competition.
Yeah, and a fantastic environment around here. You see it all even around the junior competitions in the lower grades as well, out on the reserve and around the back field as well. There's a bit of a buzz even walking out in the car park. Even the scorers getting involved. At least half of the scorers getting involved by wearing pink with the pink water bottles. So it's great to see everybody get involved across the board in a great cause today.
Did you see Mick Riley He's one of our umpires here and a volunteer of
Beard.
of softball.
Is that the beard?
Yeah, he likes to dress up, and you'll see him dressed as Santa around Christmas time. Today, he is in a full pink suit umpiring out at the junior games today.
Well, there's Maddie Cameron as you saw her walk across the diamond, getting in spot. She's playing shortstop. They moved her to short last game, and the results were unbelievable. She was fantastic in defense, great on offense, and we just had a quick ceremonial first pitch, or we're about to have a ceremonial first pitch, rather, out there. This is Sue O'Brien you're going to see come out there. You see her in pink, and she'll stand to do a ceremonial first pitch of Sarah Tonkin. She's a player for Sturt. She used to be an A-grade player. Now she's still playing. She's playing in D grade right now, but she's a life member of Sturt. She's dressed for the occasion, and she'll be delivering this first pitch to Sarah Tonkin.
Yeah, magnificent cause here, and a strike as well called by World Baseball Softball Confederation Hall of Famer Neville Lawrence, and gee, had a bit of heat on that.
It did. Maybe Sturt might have to watch Sue O'Brien and get a late call-up for the finals, just in case something goes terribly wrong. But they do have a pretty good pitcher, and that's Tash Strapp. She is a Stars player. She's missed a couple of games, just trying to overcome a bit of a nagging injury, but she's back, and they really do need her to be at her best in the last 3 games of this regular season and get in form, but then to win 3 games when it comes finals times.
Tash is a seasoned campaigner here in the Adelaide competition. Came into the competition as a young player out at Seacombe, made the change to Sturt just last season, and has been their go-to player. Her pitcher, she can play a little bit of infielder, add something with the bat as well. She really does need to stand up, needs to make sure that this becomes her competition now for Sturt to have a chance in March.
And this is the drive for 5 for Sturt, looking to win 5 in a row, but they haven't won with that local pitcher in a couple of years. I mean, they've been really relying on Monica Perry to shoulder the load here, so they'll have their work cut out for them, but Tash Straps needs to get in form, and it starts today versus a very difficult team. The best lineup top to bottom, although they're using a couple of their reserves today. They're 5 points clear at the top, and they are a win away, plus a Walkerville loss away from clinching the top spot. Jordan Lambert, Team Australia player, steps in for the first at-bat. Jordan's had a pretty good season as well in the local competition.
Jordan's been great. She's had a couple of games that she missed due to national commitments, but she's the leader for the West Torrens team, along with her left side buddy in the infield, Lana Kaiser.
So a Stars representative here, and in the infield, we'll go through that lineup after this pitch here as Jordan Lambert settles in. She's got some speed, so even that infield ground ball, she's got to be ready, and she's going to try that running bunt, and she's going to get there easily.
Unopposed.
That was textbook.
Yeah, the corners should definitely been aware that, you know, Jordan had that in her repertoire, and that it could have been an option, but a perfectly executed bunt, and she's safely aboard for West Torrens leadoff.
Faith Picard next, wearing that pink war paint. One of the younger players in the competition. She was right in the running last year for she's one of the younger players. She was in the running for Rookie of the Year last year. She's a developing player. She missed the first part of the year due to an injury, and she and Maddie Scott really sort of anchor this young contingent here, and Jordan Lambert takes off, and she's going to get in there easily. That's what she does on the base pass.
Another stolen base for Jordan Lambert. She's had a few of those this year, but she's also now in scoring position, and Faith Picard, since coming back from injury, believe it or not, is the leader of the team in batting averages, 421 so far.
Which is ridiculous if you consider how deep this lineup is. I mean, they have a former best and fairest in here. They've got a couple Stars players. They've got a Team Australia player in here. It's a lineup riddled with talent.
Yeah, a few junior Aussie squad members as well. Patiently going about her work here as well, leaving that one low for a ball. So in a pretty good count.
Very calm, very relaxed, Faith. Jordan Lambert standing on second, so a base hit could start this off well. There's that changeup that Tash Straps throws.
Yeah, that's going to be a weapon for her throughout the day. It's going to be a go-to pitch. She needs to mix it up as well, because the depth of this West Torrens lineup is ridiculous.
And she's going to just patiently stand there and take a walk. So it's runners on first and second for Emma Burridge. Now, West Torrens just missed out on the finals last year. You have to think, and you probably imagine how different their season could have been if Emma Burridge did not get hurt and she was playing all season last year, because she has just added that something special to the lineup.
Batting 3 for West Torrens, and you know that's where you put generally your best hitter.
And she lays down the bunt, and she's going to be out at third. That's all right, though. I think that's exactly what Coach Dave Gooley wanted. Just put down the bunt and sacrifice yourself.
Yeah, Gooley is a bit of an aggressive coach. He likes to mix it up a little bit. We've already seen 2 bunts, a stolen base, and so expect to see more plays here. We saw the fumble, but that's okay. That's in a transition to a throw. So the out is made and final. 2 runners in scoring position for Lana Kaisler. Now, of course, Lana misses out on a few games, or midweek games anyway, living out in Kadina.
She makes the trip down for the weekends, and she's had a big impact in the time that she has been here. It's pretty silly to think, though, that she's probably got the 5th or 6th best numbers on the team, and she's batting .353.
Yeah, pretty modest numbers, you think.
Called strike, though. Not a big fan of that one, but it's going to be a strike regardless. Runners on second and third for one of the most dangerous hitters in the competition. She's got 13 RBIs. She misses games in the week, and she's second on the team with ribbies. And right here, she could tie Carly Allen if she just gets a base hit. This goes outside. Jordan Lambert making a scramble back to home. Dives in there safely.
The ball just getting away from the pitcher. Well, the catcher at first instance, Sarah Tonkin, and then she flips the ball back. We're going to watch it in the replay, and we'll just see that perhaps Tash has just taken her eye off the ball at the last moment and not able to affect the tag. Yeah,
it would have been a very close play. Jordan aggressively down that line, dives in there safely. So Jordan Lambert has put West Torrens up 1-0, and there's just 1 out down, and now a runner on third. A fly ball will score, or just a hard hit down the line. That's called fair. That's a tough part of the ballpark to regain that one, and it's well played by the Sturt defense. But either way, Lana Kaisler with an RBI double, and it is a 2-0 game, and the Eagles are in flight just like that.
Things going to script at the moment for the West Torrens Eagles. Your first 2 batters getting on board. Stolen base, couple of great bunts. Now a run driven in from your 4 hitter. So 1 out. Kelsey Nucky up to bat.
Well, Kelsey Nucky's approach at the plate hasn't been a huge issue. She's got a on-base percentage of about .441, which is fantastic. Her hitting at the start of the year left a little bit to be desired. Wasn't quite up to probably Kelsey's own standards, but lately she has been on fire. She's on a string of multi-hit games, and last week she was spraying them to right field, and she normally just powers them to left. Great sign she's using the whole field right now.
Yeah, Kelsey's form so far in 2018 has been amazing. It's
and she hits that hard. It's going opposite field as well. Unfortunately, that's caught for her. Big out there for Sturt as Ashby takes the catch out there. So she goes out, but it's not a bad at-bat from Kelsey. She hit it hard right to the outfielder, though, but opposite field.
Coaches would love to see the batter hitting the ball opposite field, giving your runner every single chance to score. Fortunately, she just got under a little bit there, and a great catch from Maddie Ashby out at right field. She's been quite lively for Sturt in the last couple of games because she made her debut just a few weeks ago. She's been great for them so far. Read the ball well off the bat. It's a bit breezy out there as well. You might be able to see the trees in the background just blowing a bit, but yeah, keeping the runner at bay at second.
Maddie Scott grounds it to Maddie Cameron. She zips it across, but that sails over first base, and Maddie Scott's going to step into second, and Lana Kaisler is going to touch home. It's 3-0. So it was well played by Maddie Cameron in the field, but that one just sort of sailed on her, and Maddie Scott will get a free pass all the way to second.
Looks good as well. Maddie had to just move slightly to her right, and that may have been the cause for the throw going over the head of first base player Georgie Baker, but unfortunately it wasn't on the spot, and it's been costly. Now 3 runs in the first inning, 2 outs, another runner in scoring position. So Brody Borovnik, just recently named the South Australian lacrosse
captain.
Team captain, yeah, for what, under 19s maybe? So
under 18, I think under 18s, yeah. And so a young player in the lineup, Jackie Beal and Courtney May coming up. Lots of youth on display in this game. Georgie Baker playing first base on the infield. Abby Mossman at second base. She's a young player. Keach at third base. Don't know too much about her, to be honest, but it's good to see her get in the lineup. Lauren Fleming playing left, and Maddie Ashby playing right, especially on Sturt. They're just going right to the future.
Yeah, all very capable young players as well. Some talent. Jessie Keach from the state under-17 team. She's one to watch. She can hit and she plays defense pretty tight. She may even be a backup pitcher in a couple of years' time.
And Borovnik swings at that one. Well played from Georgie Baker. She steps on the bag, and the bleeding is over in the first inning here for Sturt. That was not exactly how they saw that going, allowing 3 runs in a game that if they win, they're in the finals, and if they lose and allow a lot of runs, all of a sudden it's in the conversation that they could miss.
Highly unlikely, as they've got 90 runs against. Let's talk about runs against, because you're up against Hills both on 23 points. Okay, but Hills have got 102 runs against. Now, with 3 games to go, they've got the exact same opposition. Believe it or not, both teams still have 3 games, Walkerville, West Torrens and Seacombe. So, whichever team can defend best against those 3 oppositions should see themselves through, regardless if they win or lose any games. 1 game each need to win to secure, but there's Port Adelaide. How are they still in the conversation? They are in limbo at the moment, needing to win all 3 games, but also relying on Hills or Sturt to lose out as well. Could be possible. This season has been pretty funny when it goes to results. You've seen the bottom team, Glenelg, have a win against top team West Torrens throughout the year. We saw that comeback from Port Adelaide, also against West Torrens. 5 runs in the last inning to pick up their first point in over a couple of seasons. It's going to be tight.
So if you want to secure it, all you have to do is you can lose all those games, you just can't hemorrhage runs. And we saw 6 runs allowed in the last inning by Hills in their last game versus bottom side Glenelg, and Sturt allowing 3 runs to start this one. Now, of course, Port Adelaide have to win, and they do have to lose all of them. There's a lot to happen. But 3 runs in the first inning just doesn't bode too well, because now you're going to play a bit tighter, a bit from behind. But they do have a lineup. We'll see how they can go. But Jessie Keach leading off for Sturt. Rachel Tonkin second, Sarah Tonkin third, Maddie Cameron fourth, followed by Georgie Baker, Tash Straps, Lauren Fleming, Lily Rashid, and Maddie Ashby. So notable outs. It changes the complexion of the lineup with Ada Caruana and Belle White in here. You just like their chances a lot more. So they're going to be battling in this game as Jessie Keach comes to the plate.
Well, there's probably even a final spot up for grabs as well for one of these younger players at full strength. You know, they might be able to bring one of them in, but if there's an injury concern, if Belle's not back in time, you know, a couple of them might play. So they really do need to perform in these situations, in these games, right before finals.
How's Maddie Scott on the mound? She has pitched 94 innings, or 93 and a third innings. Sorry, she is going to reach the 100 mark some point in the last year. And just at 17 now, I think she's turning 18 years old coming up. This is hit hard over to second. Calm, cool, collected. Emma Burridge to Kelsey Nucky. Well hit ball, hard, but yeah, Emma Burridge, solid that there. This defense is just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's the best defense in the league. They've got the best infield. Just have a look at them. The talent, Nucky, Burridge, Lambert, Kaysler. Any pitcher in the league would be happy to have an infield like that.
I mean, there's a lot of great players around the competition, but you really could take that infield there of Kaysler, Lambert, Burridge, and Nucky, put them on the Stars, and you'd be all right there with your infield.
Yeah, you'd be pretty happy with the coach to have those 4 in the lineup. So the 2 youngsters, though, in control here, the battery for West Torrens. Maddie Scott and Faith Picard, both junior Aussie squad teammates as well as under-19 teammates.
And
so they know
mates.
each other, and best friends. Yeah, there you go. So they know each other quite well, and it just adds another dimension to this West Torrens defense. And
Rachel Tonkin just trying to work her way back from a wrist injury she suffered right before Christmas, and a bit of a scary dive into second. She got the cast off at the beginning of February, and she's just trying to work her way back in there. She was an everyday second baseman, but she's sort of tailored off that a little bit as they try to work her back in the lineup. Certainly not another injury they want to have to withstand.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 arm injuries to Sturt. Maddie Cameron had one last year. Obviously, that's not a current injury, but...
and she's rung up on a strikeout, so Maddie Scott gets Rachel Tonkin looking, and that's her first strikeout of the day.
Yeah, a few nerves actually there for Tonkin. She had a wild swing at one high, and then she's just watched one low through the bottom of the zone. So, yeah, she's got a bit to go to come back.
Well, I'll tell you what, the environment with a game live across the world on Spacequake Sports, you know, I can get to the best of them.
I'm sure that's not playing on their mind at the moment, but yeah, you're right. You know, one of her first games back from injury, which was injured in the very last game of the 2017 half of the season. So she's been out for 2 months, you know, it's 2.5 months.
Well, Sarah Tonkin is batting now, a Stars player, young player. She's just 21, and she's had a big opportunity this year. She's become the regular, well, started the year regularly playing at third, and now she's catching in Bell's absence. And what a breakout year Sarah Tonkin has had. She's hitting .436. She's among the league leaders in RBI. She leads the team in RBIs. She gets on base. She plays some excellent defense. And she's certainly in the running for Team of the Year. And she hits this hard, and that's a base hit. Classic Sarah Tonkin. That's what she's done all year. And Sarah Tonkin is the first base runner for Sturt.
That's why we like watching her. That's a 25th hit of the year. And you're right, .436 batting average, a breakout year. There's been a couple of big stories this year, hasn't there? Emily Hopkins, Megan Williams, Sarah Tonkin, they're all in the same conversation.
And you take a look at the third base, and they're going to just intentionally walk Maddie Cameron. She hit a home run in her last game, so she's swinging the hot stick right now. And they're not going to take any chances. They'd rather flirt with Georgie Baker right here, but Georgie Baker's been pretty good as well.
Maddie Cameron hit a home run in their last game. Who was that against?
That was against Hills. She crushed one in that at this ballpark. If you look down the left field line, if it gets a funny bounce, it goes in the corner. So it was an inside the Parker, but she just legged it out with a quick play at the plate at the end of there. And it just went to the right spot, a hook right down the third base line all the way to that left field corner, and that's a tough place to field.
Maddie is an athletic player for sure. She's got that athletic build, and she's part of the Kath Lambert running program as well, so she's got that speed to burn.
The Kathy Lambert School of Sprinting. Yep. And pass ball puts Tonkin at third and Maddie Cameron at second. So a hit here from Georgie Baker can really change the complexion of this game.
She was hot in first half of the season as well. She's quieting down a little bit, about 275, but you know, 12 runs scored, 4 RBIs. She's
contributed.
6 RBIs, correction.
And she hits this hard. It's a foul tip there. We got a courtesy runner out there with Sarah Tonkin having to strap up to go back catching.
Yeah, courtesy runner for the catcher speed up rule. Georgie Baker can bring the Falcons right back into the game here with a shot, scoring 2 runs, hopefully for them. Or could Maddie Scott just sit her down and impose herself into this game?
Maddie Scott, she allows a few walks, but she always gets herself out of trouble. She has a great knack of that, and you can tell when an ERA of 1.12. It's a pretty spectacular ERA, and she has allowed 66 hits and 60 walks in about 94 innings now. So she puts them on base, but she gets them out. And this just down low, so it's going to be a full count. Runner's going to get a good chance to jump here, so you'd think a base hit would score both of them for sure. So a big pitch coming up here. She's going to get them out. She's going to put them on and bases loaded. Or will Georgie Baker score some runs? Let's find out. And she swings at this one, and this one's going to fall in the outfield. Georgie Baker, the run maker, and it's a 3-2 game.
Great shot, opposite field. We spoke about that earlier. A shot up the alley, the right side, scores 2 runners, including Maddie Cameron from second base. We're going to watch this replay. She shows bunt, comes back to slap the ball, gets it into play behind the runners. Tonkin scores. Cameron scores, and there's nothing the West Torrens defense can do about it. So the move that Dave Gooley likes to use, his 1 intentional walk for the game early in the game.
Didn't work.
Didn't work, but, you know, out of the 20-odd games they've played so far this year, he's probably called 20 intentional walks, and it's probably come off 18 or 19 times.
Well, they really did need that hit. Big two-out hitting is where those little victories are won here. And Sturt, they can just get into the finals today. I mean, you don't want to lose this game and feel nervous going into your last two. Just get in. Don't leave anything to the funny business at the end of the season, because weird stuff happens, especially with so many injuries. But it's still 3-2. They still work to do. But that was a big hit. Pass ball. Georgie Baker does get to second.
So this is where the experience of Carly Allen would come into it. Oh, there you go. So great. Head on young Picard. She's called time out to settle her down. I was just going to say Carly Allen would definitely have called time to have a chat. She's done it here, showing some great leadership from the young player. Just watching that replay again. Baker's hit. Baker, the run maker. I really like that one, Eric.
And yeah, Faith Picard watching that one go by too. Maddie Cameron cheering them on. Here's the hit again. Reaches down low. Georgie Baker can hit.
Oh, no question, no question.
So you really, if they can get Belle White and Ada back for the finals, you never know with this Sturt team. There are some pretty decent pieces.
Yeah,
well,
at full strength, you know, they could probably beat any team in the competition at full strength. Here's one of their players. I think we mentioned it last time we broadcast the Sturt game. Lauren Fleming has had more turns at bat and played more innings than any other player in the Sturt lineup. So a young player that's definitely got a role to play in this team. She needs to score this runner.
Here's the pitch once again, a 3-2 count. She swings at that one, and that's going to drop in the outfield. Georgie Baker thinks about turning. She gets held up at the last second. So a good string of hitting here, all with 2 outs. 4 straight runners have reached. And there's runners on the corner, and the go-ahead run here in the first inning is aboard.
Yeah, another good shot, opposite field by Fleming. Baker held up at third. It was a shallow hit. Courtney May out at right field was onto it pretty quickly and firing it straight back in and stopping that run from scoring.
Well, Tash Straps, the pitcher, swings at the first pitch, knocks it foul.
Oh, we've got a ball game here.
Oh, I love it.
For sure. It's just the first inning. We've been going 20 minutes already, 3-2. You know, these two teams are contenders, and neither team will go down without a fight.
Tash Straps, we mentioned her in the beginning of the broadcast that she can pitch, she can hit, and hit she will ground this over to Emma Burridge, throw to first, and she retires. Tash Straps, so a very entertaining first inning. Both teams getting through 7 batters. The only difference between the two of them is West Torrens pick up that 1 extra run, and it does come off of that error when Maddie Scott reached on the wild throw. That's really the key difference in this game so far. But we're set up for a pretty good clash the rest of the way here, aren't we?
Yeah, they've set the scene, that's for sure. Both teams are going to come out hitting. Both teams are going to rely on some aggressive base running. And it really does set the scene for a great clash. Just looking at a few numbers, Eric, you know, Sturt have used the 4 pitches this year. West Torrens have just used the 2. Courtney May's only thrown 3 and 2/3 innings. I mean, Sturt do have a couple of backups there in Jazz Strandland and Georgie Baker. We haven't seen Strandland today, but you know, Georgie Baker's got 11 innings under her belt so far this year. You know, is that important going into finals to have another pitcher?
Yeah, I mean, it's only important if your starting pitcher gets hurt. And if your starting pitcher doesn't get hurt, then you should be all right.
Jackie Beale, the hitter to lead off the second inning for West Torrens.
Here's Jackie Beale, yep. She swings at this pitch. This is going to go all the way to the outfield. And a fantastic diving grab from Lily Rashid. Running backwards, sprawls out. And that's a nice looking catch.
Yeah, not a bad piece of the ball here from Beale. We spoke about the young Sturt players battling for a spot in the lineup. Jackie's also fighting for a spot with a full strength. Great stretch, great diving play there from Rashid on the replay, but you know, there you get Jackie Bill probably contesting a spot in the outfield for a starting spot in the outfield if they're full strength. With the return of Marchenk and Carly Allen, one of these two batters, Courtney May or Jackie Bill, will likely miss.
Be on the bench though, you'd think.
Of course.
But yeah, not in that starting position. Courtney May, very useful player on this Eagles side. Good problem to have if you're West Torrens, trying to figure out which sort of a starter on most teams would be starting for you in the finals.
Yeah. 1 ball and 2 strikes. She's just behind in the count. We know Straps isn't going to beat her for pace, but it's the variation that's going to get you. That change up was high and out of the zone. Maybe a predictable pitch as well with that far ahead of the count.
2-2 count, 1 out. Very important out. You can just give Jordan Lambert not much to work with when the lineup turns over. There's a pitch just inside.
Yeah, well done from Courtney May. So although, you know, a little, started behind in the count just 2 pitches ago, but, you know, patiently watching that one.
And this is hit to center field, and it's just the Lily Rashid workout out here in this inning. That's the second catch she's made. This one much easier than the last one, but she has to drift over, fight the sun, bring it in. And now Jordan Lambert will start off again. She reached on the infield bunt. Yeah, she still could do the same thing. You never know here. She can get on base in a lot of different ways. And the infield not playing 2 in either.
No, that's because she can hit a hard line drive.
How do you play someone that can drop it short, hit it long?
I think
hope for the best.
I think she's an opposition coach's worst nightmare because, you know, the corners definitely have to be in. The pivots have to be back because she can hit that line drive. But on their toes, because if she lays down that bunt, you've got to cover. And then the outfield, you know, you've got to, you can't give her too much because if it gets over your head, she's going to probably score. She's going to outrun you.
Yeah, she's fast. She can play good defense as well on the other side. She's the complete package, Jordan Lambert. Here's the pitch, and Lambert swings at that one, just sort of slaps this one away to stay alive in the at-bat, which is all right. Good little turnout here behind us in the grandstands.
Well, it's that time of year. It's a great day as well. The sun's shining. There's hardly a cloud in the sky, and finals just around the corner. I found it hard to find a park.
It's a spot to be. 2-2 count. Jordan Lambert, good job laying off that changeup. See if she gets one in the zone here to turn on. And she does. She swings at that one. Oh, my goodness. That was just an inch away from being great. That's the tough part of the ballpark here.
She's got the inside pitch, and she turned on it, just going foul. Probably didn't get all of it either, but got enough on it that it beat the third base player, Jessie Keach, but it's gone foul.
And she swings at that one, and that's a hard hit right at Tash Straps. She picks it up and guns her out at first. Great reaction from Straps. That did not look comfortable. That's a Belle White stoked as well in the...
That's hit her square on the shin, on the full. We spoke of her line drives just before. Bang, straight back into that left shin. But to her credit, she shook it off, picked up the ball, made the play. She might be hobbling around a little bit in the dugout now, but she didn't show it on the diamond. What a great play.
With one of the fastest runners as well, running down the line.
Yeah, Jordan will probably feel a little bit ripped off, but it's... Bang! Oh, look at that. She braced for it, but that is going to hurt. I can see her now. She's walking it off now.
Well, Belle White was in the dugout, and did you see how stoked she was on that play?
Didn't actually. It was a good reaction, was it?
It was great.
We're going to see it again, but it's so important as well. If Tash can't go on, you know, they'll need to go to the backup pitcher.
It doesn't look too fun. We've seen a couple of scary incidents in the last couple games. On the last broadcast, you saw Gemma Cochran on the wrong end of an aggressive run there by Amber Hood, and she got knocked over and she hurt her elbow pretty badly. We wish Gemma Cochran a speedy recovery.
Yeah, I spoke to Gemma the day after. She's got some bruising, a fractured elbow, so speedy recovery for Gemma. Probably the best case scenario for her is that Glenelg, we're out of the finals race anyway, but yeah, speedy recovery to Gemma.
Well, Lily Rashid was the star of the last inning in the field. She made a couple nice catches, one highlight reel catch for sure. Lily Rashid will step in. She had a huge hit, a bases clearing hit if I recall correctly, last game. She had a couple RBIs, I believe.
Didn't see that game, but very capable player. You don't just get a game in this Sturt lineup for nothing. And like you said, the strive for 5 is alive. And Rashid will be playing an important role for this Falcons lineup.
Moving over to center field as well. She swings at that one. That hit high in the air. Should be playable, and it is. It's Brody Borovnik who makes the catch. So Lily Rashid is retired, and we'll move down the lineup to young Maddie Ashby. What do we know about Maddie Ashby?
Well, Maddie Ashby's been in a few junior programs, and one of the stars of the Sturt Falcons junior program. They've got so many teams, but she's one of the standouts. Obviously earning a spot in the A grade, and she made a pretty good start in the outfield. She's only had 1 or 2 bats, but I'm sure she'll find her feet in no time.
Swings at that one. It was an aggressive cut there on Maddie Scott. One thing that I really like watching about Maddie Scott is she seems to have such a short memory, which is probably a good thing to have as a pitcher. She can go through a string where she maybe allows a couple walks in a row or a hit, but she never looks rattled, and she always finds a way to sort of level herself back up and just keep going, and then she'll go on a string of that 6 or 7 straight outs. So it's great to watch from someone like Maddie.
Yeah, a little bit of self-belief will go a long way. Knowing that you've got the defense behind you that you have. Sign of a good pitcher as well to bounce back. If you take a hammering one inning and you come out the next ding and you can get, you know, the first 1 or 2 outs in pretty quickly, it's definitely going to help her mental game, that's for sure.
I think most of all, it always looks like she's having fun out there too. She's always smiling, she's very competitive. And this is hit, it's lifted into right field. A bit of an awkward one for the defense, and that drops in. So Maddie Ashby finds a little gap. She put that in the most perfect, awkward spot in the outfield that Beal and May sort of fell in between them. Let's take a look at the replay.
That 2 o'clock sun has got a couple of teams this year. Add that to May and Beal. That probably saw each other coming out of their own peripherals and left it for each other.
And one was behind, one was in front. And the bunt could well and truly be on here with Jessie Keach back in the lineup. A young player leading off and playing in the hot corner.
She was outstanding for the SA Under-17s at Nationals earlier this year. And
she lays down the bunt. It's a good bunt. They'll throw to first. They advance the runner, and is she caught off the bag? She's safe.
Yeah, good aggressive running from Ashby. She turned and made sure she could still get back safely, but Burridge, geez, if she had a good throw there, that was a bit low, but if she'd taken a good throw at a good height, she may have had a better play at that. Back in plenty of time.
Well, they got it done with a big 2-out hit from Georgie Baker last inning. Let's see if Rachel Tonkin can do it here.
She's had a couple of undisciplined swings at pitches outside of the zone so far, so she really is trying to get back into some form, isn't she?
Still batting .314 this year. She's had a good season when she's been healthy. She swings at that one. It's going to be a roller, just foul, but she's quickly behind 0-2. This is where Maddie's going to like her.
Yeah, she didn't start the season in the starting lineup, if you remember, but then when she came in, she just made the 2-spot her own and played second base and just surprised a lot of teams. I think she's got on base from error just as much as anyone in the league, just applying that pressure. And
I think it was a game on Spacequake Sports where she had that big pinch hit. Someone went down, hurt or something like that. She came in. I can't remember the exact scenario, but she came in, a couple runners on. She had a huge pinch hit, and she scored a couple runs. It might have been in Sarah Tonkin's 300th game. And it was a sort of a breakout moment, I think, for her, moving into November and then obviously December and before she got hurt. And look at this. She drops one in the outfield. Ashby's going to hold up at third. Tonkin's going to make a push for second. So Rachel Tonkin just puts it in the right spot and has a runner on second and third for Sarah Tonkin.
Yeah, it's a long season, isn't it? Trying to remember earlier on in the year, I think it was Jenny Gray, the young under-15 player, started at first base. So I can't actually think if it was Rachel Tonkin or Georgie Baker now that I'm mistaking. But I remember her coming in and doing well for her team, and she's done it again. So she's got that single, stretched it into a double on the throw, which went home and stopped that run from scoring. But you know, the RBI machine now, Sarah Tonkin is up to bat with 2 runners in scoring position.
She has had a fantastic season, and again, 2-out hitting here as Sarah Tonkin lifts this to center field. Will it be playable? It is caught there in center field by Jackie Beal, and they can breathe a sigh of relief. So West Torrens bend, but they don't break, and they will leave Maddie Cameron stranded on deck, and they'll head to the 3rd inning. And it's 3-2.
Yeah, Sarah probably just poked at that one, just getting her hands to the ball. Wasn't a full swing. And in the end, just a simple pop-up for the centre fielder in Beal. So looks like Tash Straps is okay. Actually, she's just lingering around the dugout there, talking with Coach Gardner as we zoom in there a little bit on the leg. I'm sure there'll be some bruising and some swelling, but no shin guards, not like Jade Peterson, who dresses up like RoboCop with her big shin guards. There we go, just waiting for a catcher. Well,
she's all right.
You only get the 1 minute between innings.
She's
as well.
okay.
You only get the 1 minute between innings. I'm surprised she gets a warm-up pitch, seeing as she was ready to go, and that's yeah, just the one warm-up.
Yeah. Well, Faith Picard, Emma Burge, Lana Kaesler are the next 3, and if they can get a hit, then Kelsey Nucky will come on there. That is a not the most fun part of the lineup to have to deal with.
We were speaking numbers before the broadcast started, and what was that about the on-base average for the...
There's not one player. When they're at full strength, there's a couple players in the lineup today that aren't quite there, but when they're at full strength and they play their absolute best 9 in combination there's not one player in this lineup with an on-base percentage below 400.
It's ridiculous numbers. I mean, there's a formula for a top team if I've ever seen one. They've only lost the 3 games so far this year. One of them to the bottom side in Glenelg, one of them to second place side Walkerville. That was their first time that they played against them earlier in the year.
And no Gabby Snyder.
Likely Sally Colquist.
And Faith Picard, a great catch from Maddie Cameron.
Yeah, they're tough ones to catch and read off the bat when it comes off like that. It didn't go like a rocket, but it was still a line drive. It kept its shape, and Cameron able to move across to her left to take that one comfortably in the end. It slapped into the glove as well. Great catch.
Emma Burridge steps in. This West Torrens team just continuing on that. They have been on a roll. They're the only team not to drop a point in 2018 in this competition. In their last 14 games now, they're 11 wins, 1 loss, and 2 draws. That's how you create separation.
Yeah. The numbers against the other top 4 sides at the moment, they are clearly in front. I think 7 wins out of the 10 games against the other top 4 opposition. And really there is, it's ominous signs for the rest of the teams in the competition that even though they're not at full strength, they still look like the best team in the competition.
There's quite a few bats that can hurt you in this lineup. Emma Burge being one of them, and that's a tricky play at second from Mossman, but she gets down and throws it over to first. So Sturt very capable after the 3 of their first 4 batters scored, and after that, they've been pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. Maddie Scott got on from that wild throw, and yeah, it's
6 straight.
It looks pretty good.
Lana Kaesler, she had a double that scored a couple runs earlier. But a sign of a good lineup is when someone's struggling or someone's out of the lineup, there's someone there to pick them up. When Kelsey Nucky struggles, Jordan Lambert comes through with a big hit. When Lana Kaesler is struggling, Kelsey Nucky comes through with a big hit. When Carly Allen gets a big hit. Maybe it's someone else that's not quite up to standard. There's just always someone there that's going to have a good game if you just play those numbers. And maybe it is to beat West Torrens in the finals. The key's going to be 4 or 5 of them are just going to need to have a bad afternoon.
Contributions from the entire lineup, and that's going to make it hard for any team, because if one's down, the next 3 are up. You know, they continue to impress. From a season last year, they haven't really got a change.
And Kaesler chops this foul. Look out.
Yeah, I was just saying, I don't think they've had too much change in their personnel either. So it's basically the same lineup as last year. They've just got another year under their belt together, and they've been dominant.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but you got to think, though, players naturally do get better. Maddie Scott obviously makes a big difference when she's just become the stalwart of this team. She gets better. Faith Picard gets better. Emma Burridge gets back in the lineup. And then you just have players, even Jordan Lambert keeps getting better.
Yeah, you spoke of Maddie Scott. I don't ever see her have a day off. She's always at the venue. She's always training, whether it's with a team, whether it's a club team, whether it's a Aussie squad team members with the state team, or just whether it's with her dad in the cages. You know, he's just throwing a couple of buckets of balls at her.
Yeah, so both you and I, James, are employed by someone here at Diamond Sports, whether it be softball or baseball, or we have our own volunteer commitments outside of that as well, too. Maddie Scott is a school student, and I reckon she is here just as often as we are.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so Lana Kaesler gets aboard from a walk.
And now she's at second.
And then she just steals like it was nothing. She's got some wheels, Lana, so it's just another part of the West Torrens game. They've got so many strings to their bow. They've got speed through the lineup. They've got power through the lineup.
And Kelsey Nucky is hot right now. Here's the pitch. She's patient at the plate as well, too. Even when she's not swinging it well, she's patient. She's never seems flustered. She doesn't strike out a whole lot either, I think.
Yeah, you look at her numbers, and you know, 990 fielding average. You know, she's got a 441 on base, 294 hitting average, but I mean,
but lately she'll be closer to 400 in 2018. And look at this, just takes a walk, gets on base, and leaves it for Maddie Scott with a runner on first and second.
Well, back-to-back walks is not a good sign for Tash, perhaps showing some signs that her left leg may be a little sore from copping that line drive from Lambert straight to the shin.
We'll see what kind of approach Maddie Scott has here. She takes the first one.
Hold back on the change, the instruction from Coach Gooley. You know it's coming, whether it's the first pitch or the second pitch. There it is.
And just a little wayward. Lana Kaesler at second. She's pretty quick, Lana Kaesler.
Yeah.
She can get moving.
And an experienced player as well. Should be watching the signals from Tonkin. That may be why she called timeout, just to mix up the signal pattern maybe a little bit, because if... There she goes.
Kaesler, there she goes.
I was just going to say, because if Kaesler sees that change-up called by the catcher, she may take off, knowing that it's not always in the zone, it's a little out of the zone.
So Lana Kaesler shares the lead on West Torrens in stolen bases with Jordan Lambert.
And she's probably played a few less games as well, so that's not a bad stat to have.
She's savvy. And Maddie Scott, hard hit ball, and it gets up the middle. Great Scott. It's 2 RBIs for Maddie, and it is a 3-run lead again for the Eagles.
You can't pitch the ball up in the zone to Maddie Scott because she's going to punish you. She swings so hard at the ball. Just in her wheelhouse there. She's able to drive it up the middle.
Well, this batter's caused a lot of problems. She hit a hard ball to Maddie Cameron, who had a tough play and then a bit of a wayward throw that scored 2, and now she has an RBI double that scores 2. So Maddie Scott is the problem in the lineup today for the Sturt Falcons.
All right, here's a change for you right now. Making her A-grade debut from Port Pirie, state under-17 pitcher Zali Adams coming in for Tash Strap. So obviously that injury, the line drive to Tash Strap's shin, has affected her game. She's given up a couple of walks, and then she just gave up that 2-run shot to Maddie Scott, and that brings in young talent Zali Adams.
Well, if Tash is hurt, and that is really bad news for Sturt. Jazz Strandlands, I believe, if my information is correct, not really available for the rest of the season. She wasn't really over here to play softball. She's a Canadian that turns out was pretty good at softball, and she's doing a bit of traveling as was sort of her schedule originally, so I don't believe they have Jazz Strandlands for the rest of the season. They don't have an import pitcher, and if Tash is hurt, they might have some problems. It might have to be looking to someone like Georgie Baker or Zali Adams maybe. Maybe she can be this little diamond they find right here. But
be interesting to see how she goes. She's quite an imposing player in the Port Pirie League. So I'm sure her family and friends from Port Pirie will be watching her A-grade debut for the Falcons.
And if you're a Port Adelaide supporter, what you'd want to see from this is a Sturt loss and a lot of runs put on the board from West Torrens. We're not even halfway through, and they've already got 5 allowed.
Yeah, you look at their lineup as well, and they've got a bit of the Seacombe Tigers about them now. Such a young-looking lineup now. 3 of their players in the infield are from the state under-17 team.
Keach, Mossman, Zali Adams, Ashby, Fleming, and then Baker, Rashid, Tonkin aren't very old too. Is anyone over?
Well,
is Maddie Cameron the oldest player?
24.
Is she the oldest player on the field right now?
Yeah.
Maddie Cameron is the oldest player on the field. She's a Team Australia player, so it's not a bad oldest player to have on the field, but she's not playing in a regular position. And she is the most experienced player at 24 years old. Sarah Tonkin probably number 2 on that list, and she's 21. Way different team than what you've seen in years past.
Yeah. Well, obviously the pitcher makes a hell of a difference, but you also with no White in the team and no Caruana.
Brody Borovnik up to bat. Grounded out to first base last time. She had Maddie Scott on second base and 2 outs last time. Let's see if she can reverse the script this time and score. And that's a good pitch.
Flies it in there, yeah, for a first strike. A bit of a shaky start with the 3 balls, but
you gotta be a bit nervous, surely.
Yeah, well, your team's down 5-2. We're right around the corner from finals time. You've just given up a couple of runs, and
now she's got her back at full count. The first out's the hardest. If you can just get Brody Borovnik out here, go back to the dugout, know that first out is out of the way, and really start to focus on that next inning. That would be the perfect scenario here for Zali Adams in her A-grade debut. Pitching here for Sturt, and Brody Borovnik gets one inside right near the hands there and turns on that, and that's well foul though, but hit hard.
Yeah, Borovnik really turning on that one, getting stuck into it. She's seen a few pitches from Adams now, and so she will be primed and ready to go.
And there's Sarah Tonkin out there having a quick word with her as well too. It's tough as well because it's not your regular catcher out there. Belle White, I'm sure, would have a couple things to say as well, but she's around. Brody Borovnik settles in. Can she extend the lead? She swings at that one, chops it off herself.
Staying alive there, fouling that one off, and low enough that she's got to protect the zone. So not bad pitching here from Adams. A good comeback from a 3-0 count.
Would these two have gone against each other at another junior level?
Doubt, I highly doubt. I think Brody's just out of her age, or Zali's just out of Brody's age group. Brody out of the probably could have been in the under-19s this year. So yeah, maybe Zali's played up, but maybe at a junior state championship somewhere along the line. Not sure.
Great lacrosse player, Brody Borovnik, and she chops this foul again. We've got ourselves a battle. A battle with Borovnik. Yeah, it sounds like a good war film, the Battle of Borovnik or something like that.
Good Eastern European name, isn't it? It's a... All right, who's going to win the battle, Adams or Borovnik?
And she's going to lift this over towards right field. It is caught by Maddie Ashby. So Borovnik on the losing end of that battle, but the damage is done. The lead is back up to 3 for West Torrens. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. Maddie Cameron's going to lead it off, and they do need to get her on base to try to inspire something from this Sturt side to book their spot in the finals.
Yeah, we're over halfway, past the halfway mark, and they're chasing 3. So a red-hot West Torrens at the moment. 3 is going to be hard to get, but you just never know. You string a couple of hits together and you can do it in one inning. It's just if they can hold their nerve, I guess. I mean, they're not really playing for anything. I mean, they're secure in the top 2. They will play in the major semi-final in the first week of finals, and it will be against Walkerville. They know their finals fate as it is. But, you know, do you keep with Scott? Do you just keep powering through with her, or do you give May a little bit of a go, because you just never know what's going to happen? We've seen Walkerville the last 2 years. Their import pitcher has gone missing in finals, you know, and so you need someone as a backup. You know,
yeah,
you never know.
It's a great point. It is a great point, but I think also at the same time, you got 3 games left. I'm sure we'll see Courtney May in one of those games. Maybe this just isn't the game they're choosing to go with. They're obviously mixing in some youth. I don't think Dave Gooley's afraid to do that with Borobnik, Beal, and May playing in the outfield, letting them compete for one of those final spots. But Maddie Cameron, if she can get on base, Georgie Baker's being clutch.
Well, it was a bit of a long inning as well, so, you know, and Scott, you know, got herself out of a bit of a jam last inning, but, you know, can she come back? We spoke about it last inning, didn't we? We said, you know, it shows a sign of a good pitcher to be able to come back after, you know, the opposition gets on top of you a little bit. I mean, no runs in the 2nd or 3rd innings. Well, this is the bottom of the 3rd.
Here's the pitch. Great approach here from Maddie Cameron, as always. Falls behind in the count.
Cameron intentionally walked her first turn at bat as well, so might be a bit eager to have a swing.
Get herself involved in this game.
Cameron's numbers.
Talana Kaesler, she doesn't have to do much, but look.
I think she took a step to her right, and that was about it.
Georgie Baker was the difference maker for Sturt so far. She had that massive 2 RBI shot in the first inning to put them back in the game, and you can hear the power come off the ball on that foul behind us as well.
I was had my attention taken away there.
Vicky McFarland.
Vicky McFarland. A flash of pink just went by me and celebrated.
Well, here is Lauren Fleming. She's got a single in this game as well. And Lana Kaesler just wasn't quite positioned. Lana smiling right away, and the veteran in Lana Kaesler, I think she probably just let her know exactly, just saying probably I'll get the next one.
Yeah.
That's all right. It's a good time to make that mistake. Pretty meaningless game for West Torrens in the scheme of things. Can't have that happen in finals, though. Well, the first at-bat of Zolly Adams.
Yeah, a bit of a wild swing there. She's behind in the count early, 2 strikes, but mostly known for her pitching. Showing bunt. Pulls back.
Swings at this one. This is chopped foul. It's an 0-2 count. And there it is, right on the shot there. There's Vicky McFarland on camera there. Wearing wave, Vicky. So give a big wave to the camera.
Supporting a great cause today, breast cancer awareness round. As we mentioned at the top of the show, the pink socks worn by both teams. The pink probably is out of the zone.
Dave Gooley has managed this side so well this season. Only 3 losses, and he has to deal with players in and out of the lineup, whether it be for national team duty or whether it be because they live in places like Kadena. Has to work with a couple injuries and a pitcher that's never pitched a full season from start to finish on the mound as well. No imports. He was a firm believer in that.
Yep.
He's managed this side very well, as anyone.
Stand up double for your first turn at bat, A-grade competition, and she did pretty well on the pitching mound as well, retiring that first batter that she faced as well. So she was swinging. She swung at every pitch, Eric.
And she battled her way. Zolly Adams. Now, that has to be a spark look at the girls up and about in the dugout now for Sturt. Surely that has to give you a little bit of jolt of energy knowing that one of your teammates just did that.
Well, it just shows the fight throughout this Falcons lineup as well, doesn't it? I mean, you know, the kid's going to do it. You know, I'm going to stand up and do it. It's my turn.
Well, Georgie Baker had a massive hit with 2 outs and 2 on to cut the lead down to 1. Can Lily Rashid do the same thing? She had a hard hit shot to Brody Borovnik last time in left field.
Get the ball into play, score your team 2 runs here, Lily Rashid.
And this gets away, that's gonna score a run! Play at the plate, she's safe.
Close play, Ricard got back there pretty quickly, fired that ball back, but Fleming was able to beat it out. Let's have a look at the replay. We'll see Adams from second, advance to third, unopposed. Geez, it tipped the top of her glove, didn't it?
So that error from Maddie Scott, the miscommunication on that infield fly ball, is turning out to be costly.
Yeah, it's cost them a run. And the confidence from the Falcons is now up. They're not out of this game yet. We're an hour into the game, so still 30 minutes to go. Plenty of time to go.
Or 2, depending on how long they go.
Yeah, you've got a rookie player playing her first game on the mound as well, so that's going to give her some confidence when she goes out there.
Well, Sturt have a lot of different junior teams to try to find some of these young players to bring up. Lily Rashid, it's a 5-3 game. Can she add to it? And she hits this over to second. Emma Burridge, calm, cool, and out.
She took every available part of her time to make that play, but she was, as you said, cool and calm and was able to make a routine out to end the inning. So threatening the Falcons. Now they just need to hold here. Like we've mentioned previously, runs against are going to be vital. So the pressure's going to be right back on young Adams in the middle again. But look at her, she's running out of position. She came up with that double, advancing Fleming to third. She ended up scoring on that wild pitch or pass ball.
Well, good job from Emma Burridge to play that one. In terms of a sport like baseball or softball, what is the difference a personality can make in a team? You talk about someone like a Belle White and Sturt and the influence that she has, and Emma Burridge, obviously the notable addition this year from injury, but she seems just so relaxed every time I've encountered her and pretty laid back, and it's pretty indicative in the way she plays and the way the infield has played all season.
One player does not make a team, Eric, but they can influence the entire side. You know, you come in with a positive attitude, a fresh look, a new approach, something different, you know, and a single can change your game, change your season. A walk can change the dynamic of the team, and you know, one person contributes, the next person contributes, and then it's contagious from there. And you know, could we see a new era right now?
Jackie Beal steps in. She's 0 for 1. She, though, was robbed on a pretty well-hit ball. If you go back to the second inning, Lily Rashid laid out and made a fantastic diving grab in center field. And Jackie Beal grounds this over to Maddie Cameron, and she throws this over to first with some authority.
Maddie's got one of the strongest arms in the competition. She had the momentum going towards the ball as well. That was fired across to first. Fortunately, it was on the spot this time, and the out was made.
Courtney May also had a ball that was well hit, also caught by Lily Rashid. We've seen some nice catches in center field in the last couple games on Spacequake. How about the amazing catch from Pippa Adkins to basically win the game versus Glen Elk? If that ball drops, they score 2 runs, and they very well could have lost that game.
Yeah, that one drops in, and the Hills would be threatened. I mean, they'd have 2 teams on their hammer in Seacombe and Port Adelaide. The win secure or ruled out Seacombe from finals contention, but you know, Port Adelaide is still around the mark. But you know, she's also a left-hander as well, so running to her right, which is her glove side, if she was a righty, you know, maybe it would have been out of her reach, but a great catch, good diving catch, and will probably highly likely feature in potentially our top 10 plays of the year. Spacequake Sport provided our top 10 last year, which is amazing. #1 play was an outfield diving catch from Alicia Marchenk from the Eagles. We've seen a couple of those from a couple of different teams this year.
A strike called. It's 3-2 count. Zolly Adams. She's battling out there.
Yeah.
Love to see this.
She's got some good fight about her.
She's got some good pace as well, and she allows her first base runner. And that puts Jordan Lambert up to bat. So they're going to need a big out here. Zolly Adams, it's one thing to go against Borovnik, Beal, and May, all who are very capable, but it's a whole other level when Lambert and Picard are due up right now.
Yeah, we've got a change being made. It's just a courtesy runner, or not a courtesy runner, a pinch runner for Courtney May. Mackenzie Ween coming in. Young Mackenzie Ween. It's surprising. Courtney May has turned to running, and she's doing 10, 12 Ks at a time. So she's proficient around the bases. I surprise move, but maybe bringing in a young player into the game in Mackenzie Ween.
So Maddie Cameron is the vocal one out there, having a word with her in field. What would someone like Maddie be saying right here, knowing Jordy's up to bat?
Well, one out, young runner into position. No doubt about it, Dave Gooley will be putting a signal on. I mean, you don't make a change and bring in a runner for nothing. So a signal will be on here. He's had a word to Jordan. We might see short game. We might see hit and run. You never know. So Maddie Cameron would have been saying, be ready. Corners in. You can see how far Georgie Baker's in at first. Yeah, and you Jessie can see Keach is in close to the bat.
And if you watch over at first, I don't know if we'll get it on camera, so we'll keep an eye on it for you. The runner on first will take a big lead as well when this pitch is delivered. Here it is.
So Zali not throwing it into the zone, but perhaps Sarah Tonkin just having a word, expect bunt, so don't throw it in the zone for the first couple of pitches. But now Lambert's got a good hitting count.
Yeah, 3-0 count. It's a good little chess match going on right here and a pretty close encounter, 5-3. Sturt really can't afford to allow too many more runs in this one. And Jordan Lambert will get on base. So runners on first and second, back-to-back walks, although she never really even looked like she attempted to go after Jordan Lambert with anything inside at all.
No, 4 straight balls may very well have been
semi-intentional.
Yeah. Don't give her anything, but it's maybe get her out chasing a bad pitch, but she's got a good zone on her. And there's no reprieve here for Adams, because now she's got to come up against Faith Picard.
Faith Picard, a great season. We've talked about her already in this broadcast. She's been on base with a walk. She's scored, and that goes in for a strike. So the message here is just take them right now, I think.
Yeah. Well, Adams has gone 3 balls on probably 4 of the 5 batters that she's faced so far in the game.
And this is grounded. Adams, calm to first. Runners advance, but impressive from Zolly Adams. Checks the runner over at third as well. They get there, but she didn't panic at all. Looked
in 2 minds originally, but was always going to be going for that out at first. So, I mean, that might be the difference between a veteran player or a pitcher would have gone for the lead runner in that situation. But now with 2 out, that base is open for Burridge, so you could have put her on to put the force on. But they're going at her. Now Burridge is also a patient hitter as well, and it's dangerous hanging that ball over the outside edge of the plate, because she can drive the ball opposite field, and any ball in play on that side, Lambert's going to score on anyone's arm in the competition. And can't have any pass balls either.
2-0 count. Emma Burridge, she's 0 for 2 on the day. It was a sac bunt on the first one, and she grounded out to the second baseman last time. Lana Kaesler, though, standing right there.
Well, she's hitting 370 so far this year, so she's due for a hit. Yeah.
536. Get out of town. Emma Burridge. Can she really put some separation between Sturt and West Torrens? The biggest lead of the day has been 3. And she swings at that one, and this one gets by. So that will score Ween, and it is 6-3. A couple hollers whether that was a foul ball or not, or did that just get away? We'll see if we can see the replay on this.
No bat on that one there. It's at the bottom of the zone, and Tonkin just couldn't get her glove down. Maybe she was setting up a little differently, so not sure if she missed the spot or not, but probably should have called that one.
And this is hit hard, and this is going to get up the guts. And that scores another run, and that's a big piece of hitting from Emma Burridge to give West Torrens their biggest lead of the game. It's 7-3.
Well, come up with the goods, this Eagles lineup, haven't they? Back-to-back walks, so starting from the 9-hitter in May, Lambert gets a 4-ball walk, and then just like that, I mean, Picard advances the runners, and
they're just relentless, aren't they? Lana Kaesler, she can do some damage as well. She's 1 for 1. She's got a double. She's got an RBI, and she's got a walk and scored as well too. So she scored twice today. So Lana Kaesler pushes her runs to 13 on the season.
Looking to go as well here, Kaesler. That one was a bit outside, but you know she was all over it, and definitely wanting to stamp her authority on this game.
Very solid West Torrens team, and the depth is on display today. And she hits this hard. It goes up the middle. Cameron grabs it, flipped to second, and she's safe. That would have been a highlight reel play from Maddie Cameron. Look how quick she moved to get there.
The inexperience of the second base showing as well. I'm not sure if Abby Mossman's out of position there. She's normally a catcher. We've seen her at third as we show the replay. Right off the end of the bat, one bounce. Oh, flicked that off the ground from the glove.
Yeah, I don't think she was expecting the toss. That was amazing effort from Maddie Cameron. Yeah, so runner on first and second for Kelsey Nucky. And if she can deliver a extra base hit right here, that just could be good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And this one just gets away, so it's going to make it a little easier for Kelsey. Lana could score from second base on a deep single even.
Yeah, Kelsey could absolutely break Adam's heart and spirit right here with a shot, but she's battled really well. I mean, you know, there's been a few that are loose, but, you know, there is so much potential on the mound there for Sturt. Good signs.
This one just down low, so it's going to be a 3-0 count for Kelsey Nucky. Maddie Scott on deck, and that is where 4 of the runs have come from today when Maddie Scott's been at the plate. Nucky watches this one go by. She was never going to swing at that one.
Yeah, I'd find it difficult to see if she even swings at this next one. No need. Could get a walk here, load the bases up. But you don't want to groove it either because she'll make you pay.
She swings at that one and she goes right on top of it. A little off-balance swing from Kelsey. Don't see that too often from her.
Uncharacteristically. Probably just because I said something.
Yeah, exactly.
Commentator curse, but
and it's a walk. So her second walk of the game, Kelsey Nucky. We told you she was patient, and now Maddie Scott, who's already got the 2 RBI double earlier, has the bases loaded, a 4-run lead. There are 2 outs, but she's this could be the game on her bat right here.
Yeah, 3 walks in this inning so far from Adams, but it will be out of reach if we can see some bat on ball in play here from Scott.
Although we've seen some ridiculous comebacks this year. And Maddie Scott grounds this to Maddie Cameron, throw across to first, and that is a nice play from Maddie Cameron. So just 2-run score, but it is 7-3.
There'll be no re-entry. Mackenzie Ween's going to stay in and play right field for the Eagles. Courtney May, her day's not done yet. She may come back if required, but Mackenzie will go out to right field. Yeah, 4-run lead. And, you know, you have a look at West Torrens' numbers. I mean, only given up 57 runs against in 22 games. So, you know, only averaging 2 and a bit runs a game against, and they've already given up 3 for this game. So, you know, statistically and going by the numbers, they're unlikely to give up another run.
And Maddie's got a 1.12 ERA heading into this. She's only allowed 2 earned runs today. One of them was unearned. But Maddie, other than that, she's already over her quota for earned runs in a game as well, too. So 4 runs is going to be tough, but we have seen West Torrens allow 5 runs in an inning before.
Yeah, it has happened. And Sturt second for runs for. With 125 runs for in the 21 games that they have played. Only behind West Torrens. So if there's a team that's going to be able to do it, it's going to be Sturt. But, you know, you take out 2 of their best batters in Ada and Bell.
West Torrens have also played another game. 1 more game. So they're right in the mark. West Torrens only with 1 more game after this one. And this is hit over towards second, and again, just so relaxed. Maddie Ashby grounds out to Emma Burridge. So if West Torrens win this, it would put them at 36 points with 1 game to play. Walkerville would then be 7 points behind. If West Torrens win this, Walkerville would need to win every single game and West Torrens to lose their last game to claim the minor premiership. The combination is quite simple. 1 West Torrens win and 1 Walkerville loss gets them the minor premiership, or 2 West Torrens wins. The magic number is 2.
Magic number is 2. Sturt and Hills are West Torrens' remaining opposition. So the Hills will be next Saturday, of course, and Walkerville have got Glenelg, Sturt, Port and Hills. And, I mean, you never know. I mean, if Walkerville decide to throw Sally, not that she hasn't performed very well, but rest Gabby, it might give the opposition more of an opportunity to put some runs on. I mean, Gabby's only given up about a dozen runs so far in the season.
Yeah.
But, you know, giving it the opposition team a fighting chance, or just able to rest Gabby, you know, and you never know, might give one of their opposition a chance, but I can't see it happening.
And this is grounded over towards Jordan Lambert. She bobbles it a little. She's going to throw across first. Keach me if you can. She's aboard and on base.
Get the ball into play, anything can happen. I mean, these fields do have a rough bounce once in a while, particularly if they're not maintained between the games by the teams. But she just got clean bowled there, didn't she? You know, just hit her on the leg off one of those rough bounces, but she didn't look comfortable actually after seeing it bounce once or twice. But,
and Jessie Keach, some excellent running down the line there too.
Oh yeah. Get the ball in play, give yourself every opportunity to make the base and run her on board for the Falcons.
And that leaves an opportunity here for the Terror of Tonkins. Rachel and then Sarah in the lineup. Both have a hit already in this game. Rachel had that hit in the 2nd inning, and they certainly will need a couple runs here. There will be, it's pretty safe to say there'll be another inning. We'll go to the 5th inning. This inning should finish off in the next 13 minutes.
So they got 5 outs to score the 5 runs to
running out right now, yeah, to win the game, effectively. But you know what? They don't need to win this game. Emma Burridge, a nice catch. They 1 single point as well on the draw, if they can get there, would also put them in the finals.
Yeah, well, their remaining games, we spoke about that earlier, West Torrens, Walkerville and Seacombe. They'll probably, you know, win one of those games at least, but you never know in this strange season that we're having.
Well, you need Sarah Tonkin to deliver a hit here. She just got under it a little too much last time, and she flew out to center field. She did have a big hit earlier to left, or to right, sorry. Center right. Sarah Tonkin. 1-0 count versus Maddie Scott. That's a good pitch from Maddie Scott. Makes it 1-1, evens up the count. We've got 15 minutes to play here. West Torrens still unbeaten in 2018. Have 4 outs. And to try to stop 5 runs. And Sarah Tonkin hits this hard over to first, and Kelsey Nucky flashing the leather, steps on the bag. That is why she's one of the best defensive first basemen in the competition. An excellent work from Kelsey Nucky. will help end the Sturt attack, and we go to the 5th inning. It's a 4-run lead for West Torrens.
It's got to be in the back of every team's mind. Will West Torrens be able to maintain this season that they're having so far? I mean, perhaps from outside looking in, you may think that, you know, they might fall over at some stage, but 3 losses so far for the year, you know, and this game here, they've been challenged, but they just stand up, they take it to another level. This West Torrens team this year might be the same lineup as last year, but, you know, they are out of sight. It's a vastly improved side.
It's a weird sort of team, too, though, in the respect that they're not pounding opponents. You know, you've seen teams in the past when they go on winning streaks, and even earlier in the year when Hills were going on a bit of a run, they were winning games 10-1 and 11-2. West Torrens generally aren't doing that. They're just winning. They're winning enough. You know, a 7-3 score seems like a pretty typical score for them. They allow a couple runs, but they have a couple big innings that just pull them away.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's been too many games where they've held a team to no runs. So, you know, there is a little bit of vulnerability there, but overall, it's a 7-inning game, isn't it? It's not a 1-inning game. So we'll probably see West Torrens give up some runs in the finals, but they're also going to score heavily as well.
That said, they have allowed the least runs per game in the competition. 57 runs in 22, just edging out the 52 runs in 20 for Walkerville. But Walkerville have used a different pitcher in the second half. Either way, Brody Borovnik to the plate. We saw a battle of Borovnik. This was the first batter that she faced a couple innings ago in the pitcher Zolly Adams, making her debut. She certainly needs to come up big here and hold West Torrens to nothing.
Yeah, battled hard through her first full innings of A-grade competition, pitched to 8 batters last inning and 3 walks, and, you know, gave up those few runs as well. But let's see if Zali can bounce back here.
And Brody Borovnik swings at that one. They are now at 97 runs allowed. Sturt, Hills at 102, Port at 108. This only matters if there is a tie in premiership points.
Yeah, Hills have got the bye today, so their runs against will remain, but they've still got the 3 games to go. West Torrens, Walkerville and
Brody
Seacombe.
Borovnik, foul ball.
Yeah, so it's going to go down to the wire, isn't it? I mean, even if both teams do make the finals, they're still playing for a slight advantage because the higher ranked team will get the third base dugout, the home team bench, and the opportunity to bat second in the game, which a lot of coaches prefer.
And a big strike out right there for Zolly, and that's her first strikeout.
That's the first out of the inning and her first strikeout in A-grade competition, so one Zali Adams won't forget in a hurry. New hitter is Jackie Bill, the 8 hitter for the Eagles in the lineup. Change of pace.
So Beal and then Ween. Got to get them out because you just don't want to turn it over to Lambert, Picard, and Burridge because that is where the damage has just come today. And the first 5 batters have accounted for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 7 runs of the runs scored.
Yeah, you generally see that in most lineups, the majority of the runs scoring.
And this is hit hard. It's Jackie Beal getting on base.
Yeah, Jackie's been so impressive the last few weeks. We saw her in the left-handed batter's box a couple of times, and so able to put that running slap into play as well. So that's a good little element to the game that no one else really has in the Eagles lineup. So maybe a weapon that can be used by Coach Gooley over the finals. But this time round in the right-hander's batter's box, she got one a little bit high in the zone that she was able to smash to center field, buzzing straight past Adams' face.
Mackenzie Ween to the plate. That's a second strike.
So still in the under 17, so we've got state team teammates going up against each other here in Adams and Ween. Leaving that one low for a ball. So if Ween can get on base here, we are to that damaging top part of the order. I mean, I don't think we'll go too many more innings.
Swings at that one, and it's 2 strikeouts this inning for Zolly Adams.
Yeah, just what the Falcons needed, because if you give too many opportunities to this top part of the order, you know, you're going to bleed some more runs, and that goes into run rule territory as well, so 2 outs.
And Jordan Lambert crushes this one. It's going to split the outfielders. Lambert going to second, and it's going to be Beal pushing for home. Lambert steps in with a triple.
Great shot up the left side alley. Goes to the fence and she gets a triple. That throw from the cutoff went home. The play was probably to 3 there. As we watch the replay, off the fence. Fleming throws it in quick smart to the cutoff. But it was going to score the run anyway. So it would have been a triple, and the run was always going to score. So another run to the Eagles.
There's a lot of color on Jordan Lambert's box score today. She's got that infield bunt single that she later scored. She's got a stolen base. She got on board with a walk. She has a triple and an RBI. She scored twice. And she had that really hard hit ball that probably would have been a hit if it weren't for the shin of Tash Straps. Probably a knocked her out of the game as well, too. So, yeah, Jordan Lambert is just so dangerous.
Yeah, you called her the package earlier on in the game. She's just showing her skills there. The helmet nearly coming off, but has so much speed that she almost looked a little off balance, but standing up at third, a shot from Faith Picard to the right side, scoring Lambert. Another single, so we spoke about the potency of the top order of the Eagles, and there it is on display.
Well, another solid day for Faith Picard. She gets herself an RBI. She's 1 for 3 on the day. She scored, got on board with a walk, and that brings up Emma Burridge. 9-3, and again, if they lose their last 2 games, they're allowing some runs here.
Yeah, that's 9 runs now, so their runs against now go up 99. To 99.
Game on.
Yeah.
Burridge watches this one settle in, and now there's going to be some question marks about if we don't know the severity. If Tash Straps' injury, is she that hurt? Is she just a little sore? Will she be okay? There's a few question marks all of a sudden. And this is chopped foul.
And I wouldn't think that Zali would be available on a Wednesday night either, being at Port Pirie, so obviously still at high school as well. So it's a couple of hour drive as well. And it's a massive game on Wednesday night against Walkerville as their next opponent. So, you know, if they're not at full strength, they are susceptible to another big score.
And would you pitch Gabby Snyder in that one, knowing that it's a good opportunity to try to eliminate a team that is going to be getting some superstar players back in time for finals?
Don't mess around, not with the Sturt lineup. You give them a chance and they'll pounce. I mean, they looked a little fragile coming into 2018. They had Jalen Ford throw their last 3 games of the year from last year. That could be telling come finals time.
And a swing and a miss, so she does strike out the side, but she does allow a couple runs.
Yeah, 3 strikeouts in that inning, so not bad from Zali Adams, but giving up a couple of hits to some quality players. Let's not beat her up too much. I mean, Lambert and Picard both state representatives and Aussie squad reps in their age group. So so they were susceptible to some high scores coming into 2018, the Falcons. But you know what? They came out and they just hammered the Hills last week, and 14 runs, and that could also be telling coming into finals. But Wednesday night, let's talk Wednesday night. Seacombe versus Hills. All right, we will probably not. We will likely not see the Hills pitcher in Georgia Hood, and Sturt. If Tash doesn't come up from this injury, they're not going to be at full strength as well, and there is a young gentleman coming to town. You may have heard of him, Ned Shearing, I think. He's going to be playing the Entertainment Centre. I know that teams are going to be missing players.
Because they'll be at the Ed Sheeran concert.
They'll be at the
Sheeran
concert.
That is an interesting way to throw a loop into the season. Maddie Cameron leading off the inning. But first, before those games have any impact, this is hit hard over towards left field, and that just gets by a diving Brody Borovnik. And Maddie Cameron is going to push it over to third, and she'll stay there. Lights, Cameron, action. It's a big leadoff hit for Maddie Cameron.
didn't get all of it, but she got enough of it to beat the left fielder. That was high, and that is in her wheelhouse. Getting away from left fielder Borovnik, who took a tumble as she was going for the ball, which allowed Cameron to get 3 bases. Great lead off for the Falcons.
Well, I was just going to say before, James, before any of that happens, Port Adelaide need to beat Seacombe tonight and probably need to allow just a run or 2.
Yeah, so I mentioned before that Sturt had a bit of the Seacombe's about them. 6 starting players under the age of 18 and 3 of those under 15. So, you know, the inexperienced side.
Driven over to Jordan Lambert, a nice grab on a strange hop. She guns her down at first and holds the runner at third.
Whoa, she got that bad hop last inning where she took it on the leg. This time she gets a bad hop and it's gone face height. Great recovery, and she made that play as well.
Here's the replay. What a strange hop and what a grab by Jordan Lambert.
Great transition as well from Lambert.
And a swing at this one, and this is going to fly over to Ween. So Fleming is retired quickly, and Maddie Cameron will score on the sac fly. So it is 9-4, but unfortunately for Sturt, they're down to their final out.
Running out of outs and running out of time. It is Zali Adams up to bat. She did get that shot for her first at bat. It was a double. She needs to keep them alive.
And she swings at this one first pitch, fouls this one away.
How's the aggression in the Sturt inning? Like, their backs against the wall. I think they've swung at the last 5 pitches.
They're going after them. That is for sure. So they will play 22 games and they still haven't clinched a final spot. When was the last time Sturt could say they played 22 games and they didn't have a final spot secured?
Well, they've won 4 in a row. It's, yes, off the back of Monica Perry. I mean, 3 impressive seasons from the import pitcher. I mean, just proved to be the difference maker, you know, one of the best players that we've ever seen. And she's amazing, but yeah, they're always going to have a rebuilding year at some stage.
And if your rebuilding year is finishing 3rd or 4th in the ladder and then playing finals, that's not so bad. Swing and a miss.
They've got such depth throughout the club. They've been the junior club of the year every year since the award was, since the inception of the award, and that's a good, you know, 10 years. They've got a lot of junior teams and a lot of state representatives coming through.
2-2 count, and she swings at this one, fouls it away. They're down to their final strike. Only 1 strikeout from Maddie Scott today.
Yeah, Maddie doesn't throw a stack of strikeouts. And again, it comes back to that infield, you know, the defense that she has backing her up and supporting her. I mean, we saw some great efforts in the outfield as well today.
What's scary, though, too, is you think Maddie Scott's just going to become a better pitcher next year and the year after that. And Seacombe or West Torrens already have a good infield, but there's going to reach some point where if the infield dips a little bit, maybe that pitching just picks it all up.
Well, for the state team and for Aussie squad, she plays infield. So she's not actually a pitcher at the next level, but I guess she's got a you know, good role to play here for West Torrens Eagles as a pitcher, and I mean, there's some other pitchers in the club, but you know, she's still the club's #1 pitcher, so she's got a long career ahead of her, that's for sure.
And a great job from Zali Adams to get on base.
A hit and a walk in your A-grade debut, throw in 3 or 4 strikeouts as well from a couple of innings.
So Lily Rashid, now the last hope here. Yeah, Maddie Scott, the #1 pitcher on the #1 team in South Australia, if you go by the ladder. Here's the pitch. Good strike there from Maddie Scott. Can she just find that 1 more out and push West Torrens' total to 36 points and push them to 12 wins, 1 loss, and 2 draws in their last 15 games, with the 1 loss coming to Glen Elk.
Yeah, such impressive numbers, isn't it? I mean, they've had the 4 draws this year, but they were early on in the year. I mean, they haven't really...
Not in 2018.
No. They haven't looked like drawing a game. You know, teams that come close to them, you know, that's a good result, coming close to West Torrens, but, you know, they're still not really that close. I mean, 2-run game to Seacombe a couple of weeks ago, but...
And this is hit high, up in the air, going towards center field, backing to get this one, and it's bobbled. Beal bobbles this one. That's going to score a run. Zolly Adams touches the plate. They're going to push for third, and she is out by a mile, and that is how the game ends.
What a great shot from Rashid, and Beal had a little bit of trouble to get under it, so she's misread it in the blustery conditions. Zolly Adams got on her bike and scored. The throw from the cutoff went home. And then great hands and a good transition from Faith Picard. She came up firing over to Lana Kaisler for that final out. So the run will count, just for the record.
So they fought to the end. The final score will be 9-5. So Sturt now at 99, and they can still clinch the final spot today, but they'll be turning their attention to the main diamond at 6 p.m. That game unfortunately won't be on Spacequake Sports, but they'll be watching Port Adelaide play. But the Eagles, their magic number's down to one Walkerville loss in their last 4, or a West Torrens win in their final game of the season 1 week from today at 6 p.m. versus Hills. That's that. Unfortunately, though, it's the last time we'll see West Torrens on Spacequake until the finals. But what a season and what a pleasure it's been watching these girls this season.
Absolutely amazing season from the Eagles. Breast cancer awareness round wrapping up for them. They'll go back to the Gold Sox. And their run for finals, one more win to secure a minor premiership after missing finals last year. And one more game to go, and that's against the Hills, and they should be at full strength. Georgia Hood should be available for the Saturday game. And don't forget that they'll want to win so they can secure a final spot as well.
Well, it's been an amazing story for the Eagles, and they're just that close. Meanwhile, Sturt will have to wait another day or maybe a few hours to clinch their berth in the finals. James, thanks for joining us today on Spacequake Sports and Softball SA. You have about half an hour to go get a drink, go get some food, and join us again for our next game. It's the marquee matchup of the Breast Cancer Awareness Round between Walkerville and Glenelg. So, James, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you all in about half an hour.